Hi, welcome to my video on graph and linear inequalities, two variables, part 1. Graph and linear equality, two variables. The steps that I'm going to use are graph the boundary line with dots using the slope y-intercept. Fill the line solid if equal sign, that is greater than equal to, less than equal to, or a broken line that if there's no equal sign, greater than, less than, no equal sign. There's the equal sign, this is no equal sign. Shade above the line if greater than or greater than equal to. Shade below the line if is less than equal to. When I say shade above and below, that's above and below the boundary line. So the slope y-intercept form is y equals, let's say that I can say the slope y-intercept is y equals mx plus b. So in this form, y equals 4x plus 3. The slope is 4, and the y-intercept is 3. In this one, y equals a negative half x minus 6. The slope is a negative 1/2. The y-intercept is negative 6. And in this one, number 3, y equals x plus 2. The slope is understood to be a 1. So the slope is 1 over 1, and the y-intercept is 2. So let's do some examples. Let's graph this inequality following the steps. Y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 1. So we're going to graph the boundary line. So when we graph the boundary line, we have a slope of 2, which is 2 over 1. We have a b is the y-intercept is negative 1. So when we graph the boundary line, we'll plot the y-intercept as negative 1. So there's 0, 0. Negative 1 is right there for the y-intercept. And the slope is rise 2 and run 1. So we'll rise 2 from this y-intercept, 1, 2. So we rise 2 and run 1. So notice they're positive. So we rise 2 again and run 1. So that gives us the line that's passing through those 2 points. But before I draw this line, I have to see that I have an equal sign. So that means the boundary line, which is y equals negative 2x minus 1, or sorry, 2x minus 1, the boundary line is a solid line because of the equal sign. So I'll make it solid, like that, with arrows. And y is greater than is above the line. So I'll go perpendicular to the line and shade it like that. I always start at the line and go outward. Notice above, I always go perpendicular to the line when I graph. So above is in this direction, below is in this direction. B, we have y is less than negative 1/3 x plus 2. So the slope is negative 1/3. The y-intercept is 2. So let's plot this boundary line, and the y-intercept is 2. So there's 0, 0. So 2 is 1, 2. Y-intercept is 2 is there. The slope is down 1, right 3. Down 1, right 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, we'll go down 1, right 3. Down 1, 1, 2, 3. And I'll draw a line going through these, but before I draw my line through these 3 dots, notice this is less than, but there's no equal sign. That means the boundary line is broken. So I'll do 1, 2, 3. Keep on going if you want. And there's the boundary line, which is broken. Put an arrow on the end of that line. And less than is below the line. So I'll come off the line going down. So there it is. That's the inequality. So that means in this one, all points that are above this line here, take any point on this grid here, it will make this inequality true. Take any point that's on this line, and it'll make this true, and take any point below this line, take any point down here, wherever you wish, pick a point. Any point will make this inequality true. But there's no equal sign, so you can't pick a point on the line. Okay, let's continue. And we have some more examples. And again, I'm showing you some, so to make sure you know what you're doing. And let's see what the slope is. Y equals mx plus b. The slope is a negative 1, and that's understood to be negative 1 over 1. Negative 1 is right there. So there's the slope. We put negative 1 over 1, and the y-intercept is 3. So the y-intercept is 3. There's 0, 0. 3 is 1, 2, 3. There's the y-intercept of 3 right there. And the slope is, again, you go down 1 and right 1. So I go down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. So I'm going to line up with my ruler, the line passing through all of these points. Let's say that's it right there. And I look and say, this is an equal to, so that means the line is solid. That means the boundary line that separates, that forms the plane is a solid line. So there it is, solid. Put the arrowheads on the end because it's continuing on in both that way and that way. And equal to is a solid line. And notice less than is below the line. So I'll come off the line and go down below. So what does that mean? That means that all points down here, any point that you pick and down below, pick a point and plug it in, it'll make it true. Pick any point on this line, it'll make it true because it's equal to. D, let's pick the slope and the y-intercept. The slope is 2/3. The y-intercept is negative 2. Slope, y-intercept. And the y-intercept is negative 2. So there's 0, 0. So negative 2 y-intercept is right there on the y-axis. And the slope is rise up to right 3. So I'll go up to right 3. Again, I'll go up to right 3. And I have 3 points, which is good. If I wanted to, I can go to reverse. I can go down to left 3. Because if I go down is negative, if I go left is negative, a negative over a negative makes a positive. So I'll line up the points, and there they are. Now before I draw the line, I have no equal sign, so that means the boundary line is all broken. So there's the boundary line, broken, no equal sign, so it's not solid. And y is greater than is going up. Greater than, you start from the line and you go like this. So all these points up here, any point up here above the line will make this inequality true. And that's a way of checking it. So if you pick 0, 0, just for instance, pick 0, 0. So take 0, 0. Plug a 0 in. 2/3 0. So x is 0 and y is 0. 0 greater than 0 minus 2. 0 greater than negative 2. True. So I picked this point, and this point made it true. That means I'm shading up here. But in relation to y equals mx plus b, above, greater than is above, less than is below. Practice. Practice means pause the video and graph each of these. Here we go. We have a slope and a y-intercept. The slope is -1/2. The y-intercept is 4. So we plot the y-intercept of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the y. That's the y-intercept where the line cuts the y-axis. The slope is -1/2. That means you go rise over 1, so you go down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 2. And 3 or 4 dots is enough. And I'm going to use my ruler and draw a line through all those points. Here we are. And when I go to draw the boundary line, there's no equal sign, so the boundary line is broken. So you can see I'm drawing a broken line. And I shade in. Y is greater. Greater than is above this line. Greater is above. And again, I come off perpendicular to the line. So all the points is up here. And now if I kept the grid going, it would be up here. All points. Number 2, we have a slope and a y-intercept. So the slope is 3. And that's understood to be 3 over 1 because you need a rise over run. The y-intercept is a negative 3. So I plot the y-intercept. There's the y is 0 there. The y-intercept is negative 3, 1, 2, 3. There's the y-intercept of a negative 3. And the slope is 3, which is 3 over 1. So I'll rise up 3, right 1, because they're both positive. Rise over run. So I rise 3 and run to the right 1. 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. So I'm going to draw a line starting at my y-intercept and going through all of these points. So here we go. Now before I draw, I have less than equal to. Equal to means it's a solid line. The boundary line is included. All points on this boundary line fits this inequality. And we have a less than. So less than is above. If you think above is this one. Less than is on this side. And again, if you're not sure sometimes, let's take the point 0, 0 again. Let's use the point 0, 0 just to illustrate. 0 for x and 0 for y. 0 is less than or equal to 3, 0. 0 is less than or equal to 0 minus 3. 0 is less than or equal to negative 3. Notice that 0, 0 is false. So I pick 0, 0 as false. That means if that's false, I don't shade over here, I shade here. So I'm just trying to illustrate. If you pick a point and plug it in, if the point makes it true, then that's where you shade. If you plug the point in and it makes it false, then you don't shade there, you shade on the other side. But I know when I have y equals mx plus b line, then above is that side, below is that side. Above is this side, below is this side. But you can always check it by plugging in a point. If the point makes it true, that's the side you shade on. And more practice. We have y is less than or equal to negative 4x plus 5. The slope is negative 4, understood to be negative 4 over 1. And the y-intercept is 5. So we plot the y-intercept first. 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the y-intercept of 5. And my slope is down 4, right 1. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1. And I have these points, so I'll use my ruler and my y-intercept. There's the dots. And this is no equal sign, so I have a broken line. The boundary line is not included, so I got a broken line. And y is less than, this would be greater than, above the line. And less than is on this side. And again, how do I know? Again, the easiest point to pick is 0, 0. Take the point 0, 0, x is 0, y is 0. Plug it in. Y is 0. Negative 4, x is 0. 0 is less than 0 plus 5. 0 is less than 5. So 0, 0 is true. This is true. So therefore, I've shaded on the right correct side. And this is less than. And again, that's a quick way to check. I always use a point 0, 0, or I'll use this point here, which is what? 1, 3, 0, or 4, 0, or 2, 0. Or I'll use it any point here, because there's zeros in this and you got less calculation to do. So if you pick this point, you get x is 0, y is -1. So pick a point which has two. If it doesn't pass through the origin 0, 0, then use 0, 0. But if it passes through the origin 0, 0, then use a point on one of the axes, which has at least 1, 0. Number 4, we have y is greater than or equal to 5 over 2x. Notice I'm saying greater than y because it's pointing to the right. Remember, on a number line, when you go to the right, it's greater. This is pointing to the left on the number line, so notice that's pointing to the left, so that's less than. Going on a number line, when you go less, you go left. Anyway, let's get back to this one. We have a slope of 5 over 2, and we have a y-intercept b of -5. So we plot the y-intercept, -1, -2, -3, -4. There it is right there. And we'll go up 5, right 2, because they're both positives. Rise over run, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 2, 1, 2. Go again. Rise 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 2, 1, 2. So there they are. So I'll put my ruler on those points, and then I'll decide before I draw it if I'm going to make it solid or broken. So this is greater than equal to. Equal to means the points on this line makes it true. There it is, solid. And greater is to the greater is above. And again, how do I know? Well, if I take the point 0, 0, again, x and y are zeros, so 0 greater than or equal to 5 over 2 times 0 minus 5. 0 is greater than or equal to 0 minus 5. 0 is greater than or equal to -5, and that's true. So this point made it true, so the shade on this side. This side is greater, this side is less. And what about if we take this point right here? This point is x is 2, y is 0. This point lies on this line. So let's plug this point in, x and y, into this inequality. 0 greater than or equal to 5 over 2, and x is 2. So notice I took the inequality, and I said y is 0 and x is 2. And now I'm going to work it out. It cancels out, and I get a 5 minus 5. 0 is greater than or equal to 0. So 0 is not greater than 0, but 0 is equal to 0. Because 0 equals 0, that point lies on this boundary line. And that brings us to the end of graphing inequalities that have two variables of x and y. So you plot the boundary line using slope y-intercept form, and then you shade above if it's greater, below if it's less, and you shade solid line if equal to, and a broken line if not equal to. If you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, and there you'll find more information about me, my videos, and the content. And that's the content that's on my YouTube channel. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.